Hey everybody, welcome to video number 7. Thanks for joining me. What's going on? Let's see, what's new with me? I found that Paragon Records, which is a great label, good distro, is having a good deal on CDs, free shipping, and the majority of their CDs are $5 a piece. In their distro. So I picked up a couple that I've been after for a while now. That'll be coming in the mail here in a bit. It just felt weird to spend $15 on 3 CDs. So check that out. ParagonRecords.org, I want to say. Maybe I'll put a link in the description. By the way, I just got done going through all of my prior videos and putting YouTube links pertinent to all the stuff that I talk about, like the bands that we're listening to. Like today, we're listening to Ouija, Riding into the Funeral Paths. This is a Spanish black metal band, late 90s, came out on Repulse Records. It's really cool stuff. It's just really highly technical and atmospheric. I haven't listened to this in a while, so I thought I'd put it on. Really complex and amazing stuff. Ouija. What was I talking about? Yeah, so I put descriptions or links in the description, all the videos to all the bands that I've talked about and went through the CDs of prior. So if there's something that interests you in any of the videos prior to this one or going forward, you should be able to find something pertinent down below. So in the last video, I was talking about Anal Blast and how much this band pissed me off, and so I went through Metal Archives and looked at their page and decided that this album, fuck that guy. So let's get on with it. Right in line with that band, I got AC. This is the early years, 88 to 91. I picked this up for $5 from a guy at a show at a distro a couple years ago. I never really listened to it. When I first got into metal in the late 90s, I listened to the shit out of this. Morbid Florist. This is on Relapse Underground series. I listened to this a lot. It's really funny. I also listened to Top 40 Hits quite a bit. And then I grew up. I was like 17 years old and loved the shit out of that stuff. It was weird to me to be getting into metal at the time, but then having something metal-ish that was so funny. Not something I've ever really seen since. So the next band I've got is Anal Vomit. Demonic Flagellations. This is like some Argentinian, I believe. Maybe it's basically Brazilian thrashy goat war metal or so. I guess not necessarily goat metal or war metal, but it's pretty much thrashy death metal. It's pretty fun every once in a while. And I've also got Anal Vomit split with Goat Semen. This is limited to 666 copies. It's been a long time since I put this in. We got this in distro many moons ago. Next, this is a band that I've just kind of mildly come to like lately in the last few years. This is Anael, or Anael, I don't know. This is their split with Lust, which is a Canadian band. But Anael I've really come to like quite a bit. Namely their full length. You can barely even see what this is. And this is on Paragon Records that I mentioned before. But this album is called From Arcane Fires. And this is a really good record. German black metal. It's just like kind of mid-paced. Nothing really all that extraordinary about it, but just great songwriting, amazing atmosphere. It's something that I listen to when I don't really know what I want to listen to, if you know what I mean. I don't really remember what the split is like. I remember Lust being kind of crazy and melancholic metal or something like that. But that From Arcane Fires is a really good record, if that sounds interesting to you. Up next is a doom band, Anathema. This is their Serenades album, and it's got a couple extra tracks from an EP, the Crestfallen EP. Yeah, this stuff is great. I feel like people more so talk about the newer era of Anathema than the old stuff. This stuff, I think, is maybe kind of like a poor man's My Dying Bride or so. And I say that in the best regard, because I think My Dying Bride is one of the top doom bands ever. And this is really good. It's not quite as maybe romantic or so as My Dying Bride, but this record is really cool. There's a track on here, J'ai fait une promesse. It's just like a French lady singing the song. It's so good. And then this is Judgment. I picked this up not too long ago, used for probably $3 or $4, just on a whim, thinking it might be good. I still don't really know what I think of the later era of Anathema, and I don't even remember what I think of this record. So it must not be all that great if it's not doing much for me. But I have it. So this is an Australian band called Anatomy, the Witches of Dathomir. And gosh, it's been a long time since I listened to this too. This is really making me, doing this, going through all these records is making me realize how often I don't listen to some of these things. I just got a new car last year, and it was the first car I'd ever had that has a CD player in it. And so it's really enlivened my CD listening once again, which, like I said, is why I've been buying more CDs, and it's probably influenced why I'm doing mostly CDs on this channel here. By the way, I've had some people ask, are you going to do LPs or only CDs? Because I think some people are kind of disappointed, but I always got to do something that stands away or different from the crowd. So I am doing just CDs. It doesn't mean I'm not going to pull something out and show you like some LPs that are related to the CDs that I'm doing. And also I kind of want to get into maybe doing some videos that are just like focusing on one record or maybe one band and just kind of dissecting it and reviewing it for you. So I do prefer CDs. A, they're cheaper and I'm a cheap bastard. B, there's a lot of things that are on CD that are really near and dear to my heart that aren't on LP. And for that reason, I think I'm just still so deeply rooted in CDs and have my heart there. My LP collection isn't all that expensive, they're just right there. So I don't have like the wall of LPs like some of you guys have. Those things cost a lot of fucking money. New releases on vinyl these days, you know, $25 is pretty much the going rate. And I would just rather pay less for it. I would rather not have to deal with flipping the damn thing over. I like being able to take it in my car and take it with me. And also, the sound quality on an LP does not have the capability of representing the high spectrum of frequencies that a CD does. And so, and sometimes that's really important to me. Anyway, so that's Anatomies, the Witches of Dathomir. I think it's just like a Black Death band. This is Ancalagon. You can probably barely see the cover. Some of these darker prints don't quite show up as well as I'd like them to. I can't remember why I ever picked this up, but I want to say, I don't know, I'm going to have to get back to you on this. There's some relevance I want to say to Malicious Records. Like the guy who ran Malicious Records, that's a label that I kind of collect, is in this band, or this was their first release or something like that. Anyway, I remember getting it for like super cheap. It was like less than $1 or something somewhere. And I remember thinking, it might just be cool to have for the collection, and thinking it was pretty okay. Better than I expected anyways. So this brings me to another subject. I am involved in not so much now, but was in the past few years in a project where I was collecting local music from my area here in Iowa, specifically 319, and what I used was the area code that we all share in the Cedar Rapids and Iowa City area. And I collected it from from 2005 or so is the newest of the stuff that I collected, and went way back through the 90s, 80s, and even into the 70s, and collected that stuff and ripped it all and put it up on a Bandcamp page with the permission of all the artists in order to raise money for different charities. So there's a Bandcamp page with like 115, 125 or so demos, live shows, rehearsals, all kinds of just underground stuff specifically pertaining to my area in Iowa. A lot of friends with all those guys, but it's been a fun project. Anyway, so this is a CD that I picked up for that specific purpose. This is a Cedar Rapids band called the Anchorus. The album's called Springlock, and it's funny, these guys won't let me put this up on their page because they're so embarrassed by it. So I'm just gonna leave that one be there. It's not all that great. Next I've got, I didn't know I still had this. Ancient Wisdom, The Calling. If I remember right, yeah, this is cool. This is a red CD. Isn't that crazy? I've never seen anything like that. Ancient Wisdom's The Calling on Avant Garde. This is just a melodic Swedish band. I don't know, some people seem to go crazy for this band, but I never really saw what the big deal was. So I've only got that one. This is Andrus, Das Schwert unserer Aachen, German band. And this is a collection of their demos. And Andrus is a band that I hadn't really even thought of for many years, but I was up at Cheapo maybe last year or so, and Andrus, the name just clicked with me. I remembered back in the late 90s or so, I heard Andrus on some Last Episode compilation. Last Episode is a German label who did some pretty good stuff. And I remember the vocals just being insane, and I really liked it. And I never really, I don't think I ever heard anything outside of that compilation track. So I picked this up, and this is their demos. It's super nasty German black metal from '95. And the vocalist, I think, that was on that track is on here. And it's pretty nuts. I've only played it a few times since, like I said, I got it last year. Next, one of my favorite bands. This is Angel Corpse. I've got Hammer of the Gods, Exterminate, The Inexorable, and Of Lucifer and Lightning. And then I have an LP of a compilation of something that Osmos did. But I fucking love this band. This is pretty rudimentary, early formation for them. It's not quite as like violent or chaotic as the other stuff, but it's a pretty solid album. This is where it really gets good. I can never remember between these two which one comes chronologically, but I guess it would be this one, since this one has the same drummer as the first one. This has got what's his face from Origin on drums? John Longstreth, yeah. So John Longstreth played on this one, and then Tony Loreno came along and played on this one, and then Longstreth came back and played on this one. Anyways, for me, these two are where it's at. Equally as good. I fly around the room, banging my head, bouncing off the walls whenever I put these fucking on. Falleluja, Wolflust, Into the Storm of Steel, Reap the Whirlwind, Sons of Vengeance. So fucking good. I'm pretty happy to see them back together again, although I don't know if they're going to be doing any new material. I know Gene is pretty busy with Perdition Temple and what's that other band? Blasphemic Cruelty, I think he's in. And that stuff is pretty cool too. It's right in line with Angel Corpse. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit faster or so. Oh, Lucifer and Lightning. I had kind of high hopes for this thing, but the production kind of makes it inaccessible to me. But it's pretty crazy. It's worth giving it a listen to. I know they've been playing a lot of shows. It's cool to see them having some revival to their discography. Great fucking band. One of my favorite death metal bands. I would probably put them up there in my top 5 metal bands of all time. Great fucking band. So this is, I guess, kind of a short one here. I'm heading into work here in a few minutes. Anyways, so I hope you like it. I hope you like the old ones. Stick with me. Subscribe down below. And let me know what you think. Leave me some comments about what I'm talking about. What you'd like to see. Questions. Whatever.